June 24th, 1941, 2 days after the launch of Operation Barbarossa. The smell of diesel and scorched wheat hangs over the fields of western Russia. Panzer Regiment 6 of the 3rd Panzer Division is advancing fast, too fast for even its own supply trucks to keep up. In the turret of a Panzer III, Sergeant Karl Hoffmann squints through his binoculars. The morning haze reveals a distant silhouette, a tank, broad and low, crawling through the mist. It looks awkward, primitive, almost comical. Russians, his gunner mutters. They're driving tractors into battle now. Laughter ripples through the crew. The Germans had crushed everything before them so far. Polish Kanks, French Char Bs, even British Matildas, all burned before German precision and speed. Whatever that strange machine was ahead, it didn't look like a threat. Hoffmann's Panzer fires first. The 50mm shell whistles across the field and clangs against the Soviet tank's armor. A spark. Nothing more. The crew reloads. Fires again. Another hit. Same result. Now the tractor turns its turret. Slowly, purposefully. A flash. The German tank erupts in flame. Nearby crews watch in disbelief as the unknown machine rolls forward, shells bouncing harmlessly off its armor, its cannon spitting death with terrifying calm. Later, when the survivors regroup, they'll describe it in confusion. A new Soviet tank, something they hadn't seen before. Wider tracks, a powerful 76mm gun, and armor. Sloped armor that seemed to swallow their shots whole. The name passes through the ranks like a whisper. T-34. At first they mock it, call it the Russian joke. But in the coming weeks that laughter will turn to dread. Because the Germans have just met a machine built not for parades or propaganda, but for survival on the Eastern Front. And no one in Berlin is ready for what it can do.
3 days later, the rain begins. A thick, clinging mud swallows boots and tracks alike. German supply columns bog down as far as the eye can see. Trucks grind uselessly. Panzers strain, their narrow treads digging deep trenches into the earth. But out of that same mire, the T-34 glides, almost effortlessly. Its wide tracks spread the weight, its diesel engine roaring like some iron beast born of the steppe. German officers can't believe what they're seeing. This tank isn't supposed to exist. Intelligence reports before the invasion described Soviet armor as outdated, mostly light tanks, barely armed tin cans. Yet here it is, a ghostly predator that moves faster than it should, hits harder than it should, and simply refuses to die. General Heinz Guderian, father of the Blitzkrieg, hears the reports with growing alarm. Entire platoons of Panzer IIIs and IVs are being destroyed by single T-34s. His diaries from the campaign record his shock. Our weapons are ineffective against it. At the front, crews try everything: flanking shots, close-range ambushes, even calling in 88mm anti-aircraft guns to pierce the armor. Sometimes it works. Most times, it doesn't. And the psychological effect is devastating. Inside their cramped turrets, German tankers whisper to one another, "How can a peasant country build something like this? Why didn't we know? Can we even stop them?" Each new encounter chips away at the myth of German invincibility. The T-34 isn't just a tank, it's a message. The Soviets aren't backward, they're evolving. Fast. By late July, wrecked panzers litter the fields from Smolensk to Vitebsk. blackened hulls with neat, precise holes punched through them. And among the burned steel, one grim realization spreads through the Wehrmacht ranks. The easy victories are over. The laughter is gone now. In its place, a growing sense of dread. Because if the Soviets can build thousands of these, what happens when the real counterattack begins?
October 1941. The fields of Russia are now a wasteland of mud, smoke, and frozen corpses. Operation Barbarossa, once promised to be a lightning war, has slowed to a crawl. The German tanks that once raced across Europe now wheeze and rattle like dying beasts. In the forests outside Moscow, a column of Panzer IVs creeps through the frost. Sergeant Hoffman's new tank, a replacement after the loss near Minsk, leads the line. The air is biting cold, the kind that cracks metal and numbs fingers through gloves. Up ahead, scouts report enemy armor. Hoffman peers through his periscope. He sees them, dark shapes emerging through the birch trees. Dozens of them. At first, they look familiar. Then his stomach drops. More T-34s. Dozens, maybe 100. He orders his gunner to fire. The shell ricochets harmlessly. The Soviets return fire, and in seconds, 2 German tanks vanish in blossoms of orange flame. The battle becomes chaos. Engines screaming, machine guns rattling, snow and smoke swirling together. Hoffman's radio blares with desperate voices. "Armor too thick! Flank them! God, they're everywhere!" The T-34s move with terrifying agility, shrugging off hits, tearing through the thin German line like wolves among sheep. Even when damaged, they fight on, turrets half shattered, tracks broken, guns still firing. By dusk, the snow is red. The Germans retreat, not in tactical order, but in survival instinct. That night, around campfires dimmed to avoid Soviet aircraft, crews sit in silence. No one jokes now. No one calls the T-34 a tractor. They talk instead about its speed, its armor, its power. Hoffman stares into the dark. He can still hear the echo of its engine, that deep, throaty growl, the sound of a new kind of war. In headquarters, Guderian sends another urgent message to Berlin. We need better tanks, fast. But Germany's factories are already stretched to the limit. The new designs, Panther, Tiger, are still months away. The Red Army, on the other hand, is just getting started. And for the first time in the war, the men of the Wehrmacht begin to understand they are not invincible.
Winter falls hard. By December 1941, the snow is waist deep, and the German advance has frozen solid outside Moscow. Engines won't start. Guns jam in the cold. Soldiers freeze where they stand. But not the Soviets. From the depths of the Urals, beyond the reach of the Luftwaffe, new factories roar to life. Entire production lines have been dismantled, hauled east by rail, and rebuilt under Stalin's orders. In those frozen cities, Chelyabinsk, Sverdlovsk, Nizhny Tagil, workers labored day and night building a single machine, the T-34. Men, women, even children, working in coats, gloves, sometimes barehanded, churn out hundreds of tanks every week. Each one simpler, tougher, more efficient than the last. It doesn't matter if the welds are rough or the paint uneven. The Soviets aren't making showpieces. They're making weapons of endurance. And the German tank crews can feel it. Every engagement now brings more of them. T-34s with slogans scrawled in chalk, "For Mother Russia." T-34s driven by farmhands, teachers, factory workers. T-34s charging straight through artillery fire. It's no longer just a battle of machines. It's a battle of willpower. At German headquarters, engineers study captured wrecks. They're shocked at the simplicity. The T-34's armor isn't thicker, just smarter. Sloped, deflecting shots instead of absorbing them. Its diesel engine resists fire. Its Christie suspension gives it speed across terrain where German tracks snap. Even German designers whisper, "It's near perfect." In a secret meeting, Hitler rages. He demands an answer, a tank that can match it, crush it. The result will become the Tiger and the Panther. Mechanical masterpieces, yes, but expensive, delicate, and few. The T-34, by contrast, becomes endless. By 1943, tens of thousands roll from the east like an iron tide. And when the tide reaches Kursk, even the proudest Panzer commanders will feel that old fear again. Because for every German tent destroyed, 3 more T-34s rise from the smoke, unstoppable, unrelenting, and indifferent to death. A machine born from desperation, now turning the very war that once seemed lost. The T-34 is no longer a curiosity. It's a legend. The tank that turned mockery into terror, and terror into victory.